Hi, Coach Dharam here again, talking about grief as a disruption to the arousal system, where you're either hyper stressed and over aroused, unable to sleep, unable to digest food, or you're under aroused, you're depressed and also unable to sleep and digest food and take care of yourself. So when this system is dysregulated, it means it doesn't have a change in a predictable pattern. It doesn't have regularity. And so we can look inside our bodies to something that will give us regular, predictable pattern, which will give us rhythm. What we really want is rhythm, to begin to bring ourselves into a regular, smooth pattern of arousal. So there are a lot of systems in our body. Every system in our body has some kind of regularity, some kind of rhythm of tension and release. This is happening on the cellular level, with each cell contracting and releasing. It's also happening in a systemic level, and we can feel it really easily with our heartbeat and with our breath. Now, as we're stressed, our breath may still be really very rhythmic and regular, but we're just not paying attention to it. It also may be at a tempo, a speed that is heightening our arousal or depressing our arousal. So we can start to make change in a rhythm to change our state of arousal. But we first can start by paying attention to what rhythm is there right away. So as we breathe, what's happening is we have a muscle called the diaphragm that pushes down, contracts to create a vacuum in our lungs, sucks the air in, and then it relaxes and the air flows out naturally. And then you contract the muscle, there's the tension, air comes in, release, relaxation, air goes out. Now, when you have stress and you're in shock in any way, you can recover by changing your breath. There's something called the recovery breath, which is a shorter inhale and a longer exhale. And you all know it because it's like this. or or it's, there's different ways with sound or without sound. Recovery breath. And I use a recovery breath every day. When I take my cold shower, I get that first shock, that hit of the cold water. And that is my way of using the breath to respond, and I'm creating resilience in my body. I'm reacting and recovering at the same time, and then I can start to feel comfortable and find my cold shower actually pleasurable. Without going into the cold shower, you can use your awareness to attentionally resource yourself with the rhythm of the breath. You can listen to the sound of the air coming in through your nostrils, to the breath coming out through your mouth. You can use the senses of the inner passages of your nose. You can feel it in your diaphragm. You can pay attention to the feeling of breathing. And as you settle into that awareness, into that rhythm, you may find that you can use this to activate yourself into other rhythms, and as well as using the rhythm of the diaphragm motion to breathe. You can also use your big muscles, and especially if you have a lot of stress hormones, if you have a lot of big muscle energy from your overwhelm that you need to just, a lot of tension you need to release in a gross motor way, you can create rhythm with your activities. And the best way to do that is walking. It's what we do. If you can't walk with your feet, because you can't hold your own weight on your feet, you can use the arm movements. You can shift side to side to feel the rhythm of shifting weight. There's a lot of ways that we can create rhythm. If you don't have any energy, you can't get up, you're too emotionally overwhelmed, rocking is very soothing. Okay, so now I'm walking. And I said that walking is the best way. What about running? Running is a great exercise. It is rhythmic. It does get your heart and lungs going. It has a really positive effect on your body. It's a great way to let off steam. And it goes too fast to truly pay a lot of attention to balancing what's going on in the body and listening to everything that's going on in the body at the same time. If running works for you, absolutely. Go for a run. That'll feel great. Do it. And if you get a chance to take a walk, see how it's different for you. See how you can use your senses in a different way when you're walking. Walking is meditative. When you use your mind and your awareness with your breath. It's soothing, it's rhythmic, and you can start to engage with the world around you and integrate it with the world inside you in a way that brings creativity and expansion. One of my favorite ways of bringing the awareness of rhythm through breath and through the motion of walking is a meditation taught by Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist teacher. In this meditation, you inhale, exhale, listening to your breath, feeling that awareness with each step, feeling your weight through your feet, grounding into the earth, the slight fall forward and the release of the foot behind you. And as you walk, you don't have to stop thinking or try to think of nothing or anything like that. You just have two things in mind with your breath. Inhale, calm mind. Exhale, kind heart. So you don't have to turn off your thinking. You just bring your attention and your intention, your idea, to calm mind on the inhale, kind heart on the exhale. Calm mind. This is regulating in itself. It's soothing. You can feel the coolness of the air through your nose calm the coolness all those hot thoughts and hot feelings in your head. Calm mind. Exhale, opening your chest, letting your diaphragm relax so you can exhale completely, kind heart. As your heart expands, as you relax, this is where that felt sense of expansion can begin. Kind heart, kind heart. Here's another rhythmic, soothing motion, touching my chest, rubbing up and down. This is very soothing. What do I mean, really, when I say kind? Well, our thoughts will give us all kinds of ideas about compassionate behaviors and being nice to people and being a good person and loving and lovely things. But when you strip it down, kind, you've got different kinds of things. Kinds is likeness. And I'm kind where I feel kinship, where I feel likeness. And this is where it gets a little bit philosophical, but then when we talk about likeness, we say, what's like me? Well, who am I? And there's a lot of ways that we create a sense of self or sense of identity. And the first way, biologically, is we have a part of our brain that maps where our body is. We have proprioception, where we know how our body is in relationship to itself and in through space. I am all of these things is a biological way of looking at who I am. But then we have the psychological also, the input of all our experiences, all our memories, all our feelings. And I can have an identity around all of those things as well. So who am I? And then when we look at identifying, we can identify with what's going on in our immediate sensation and thought. We can be all completely wrapped up in what's going on in our head right now. I'm walking and I'm talking and I'm trying to make a video and I have a lot I want to say and my feet are on the ground and yeah, I'm still even breathing occasionally. But I can step a little bit further back from that sensation of I am all those things going on to I am the thinker. I am the one sensing all of those things. So there's all those thoughts and there's all those experiences and feelings going on, but there's also the one who is thinking and feeling all those things. And that thinker has a particular body in space, shoulders here and face and head, and all these things, moving feet. And I can feel that the thinker, the doer, is who I am. And that creates a personality. It creates somebody who has developed a socially coherent personality organism to relate and function in society in a way. Personality isn't a rigid, locked-in thing that you're born with and is yours forever after and never changes. Personality is a developing way, a set of strategies to relate and respond to the society you're in. So it starts with the society of your immediate environment as an infant, your family, your mother, and your, whoever's around at birth or even before birth. And you start by smiling, and do they smile back or do they ignore you, or how much do they talk to you, and how much do they pay attention when you make sounds, and all kinds of things will all kinds of strategies will give you information and create attitudes and preferences and ways of being in society. It makes you socially coherent as a person responding to other people. So you can go a step outside of personality and you have first your thoughts or ideas or sensations. You have the personality who has those thoughts and those sensations. But you can step outside of that to existence, which contains the thoughts, the feelings, the thinker, the personality, but everything else. It contains the trees and the sky and your everybody else and the stars and the moon and everybody else's thoughts and feelings and everything that ever happened and everything that ever could happen. And it gets really vast really quickly. And in that expanded existence of everything that there ever is, ever could be, every thought that's ever been thought, every memory that's ever been held, that's where, when your sense of yourself goes, it gets really big. You start to have a felt sense of kinship with all kinds of things that you might never have related to until you start to open up. People have used all kinds of methods to open up awareness to this greater existence. Meditation is one of them. Psychoactive drugs, of course, have also been a door of perception. And the quality that people find in that greater connection or identification with this vast existence is peace. This is not a world of judgment. This is not a world of other people's attitudes, other people's thoughts and feelings that you have to get your inner landscape to relate to. This is a world where everything just is. And it doesn't have to be bad or good. It's all inclusive. And so that's very relaxing. When you can let your awareness float out into that greater space of existence, you can let your ideas bubble through without getting stuck on any of your personality quirks. As you're hanging out in that area of existence, of greater awareness, you'll notice those experiences, sensations, qualities that sparkle, that create little bursts of joy. And you can take that awareness of those things back to your personality, back to your coherent social being, and lodge them in there as, this is me. I'm part of that, which makes me awake and enlivened. And that's creativity. That's reaching beyond the moment of limitation emotionally and getting something from the greater existence. There is in the brain actual structures that deal with a sense of self, whether it's body mapping or idea of a self as an organism to survive and take care of and interact with other people. And there are experiences and things that can change the way that structure works so that it is not so rigid in locking the sense of self as a personality into the body. Now, there are out-of-body experiences, there are psychoactive, hallucinogenic experiences, and there's meditation. Meditation isn't a disruption of the integrity of sense of self, sense of mind and body being all coherent. It is an expansion of the boundaries of what that sense of self is, so that we can actually, in our bodies or in our sensations, feel a greater boundary of who we are. We can settle ourselves with our breath enough to feel kinship with the earth that our feet is touching, feel our feet going all the way down into the ground. We can hear the birds, we can see the flowers, we can feel the joy that these things are bringing up in us and not feel separate or different. And even though my body ends here, I am feeling myself in connection with these flowers here and feeling joy in this way with the rhythm of my breathing, my awareness and attention to the rhythm of my walking, to the soothing qualities. I've brought my thoughts to calm mind, kind heart, and working together, all of that brings me into a soothed, stable state of arousal. I'm now expansive in my chest, in my heart, and relating positively, creatively to the environment around me. The grieving process works with an expanded field of awareness by finding in that wholeness those things that are lost in the personality world of sensation and experience. And as we hang out in that awareness of our kinship, our kindness with those things that we love, that we've lost, we can also associate it with other things in that realm that give us that sparkly joy and start making connections between what are the qualities of what's lost and how are they associated with other sensations or experiences of joy, and then bring all of that as a challenge to our personality of how do we develop our behaviors, our attitudes, our self-expression in the world. How do we highlight those qualities and those sparkly experiences that we feel deeply as important parts of ourselves? So I walk every day. It feels good.